Hello and welcome to Rathods IS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 21st February 2024. So first we are going to take Hindu PDF and here I am taking Delhi edition. So whatever the edition that you have, you can go through that edition. There will be no problem. Okay. And we are going to pick out the articles which are relevant from our examination point of view. And there are many articles today, so here it will be taking like around 1 hour to complete this analysis today. And we are going to see in how many dimensions you can think from that point of view, and even you have to know like how can we connect with one subject with another subject. So this is the way to read your current affairs. So don't just blindly read each and every word and make notes of each and every word which is given in the paper. So it is not the way to prepare current affairs, not only for UPSC, for any other competitive examination point of view. So why? Because nowadays in prelims you will be getting like 2 to 3 statements. So one statement is from current affairs and other statement is from static. So you need to have both static and dynamic knowledge regarding that so and so topic. Clear? And current affairs which forms around 70 to 80% of your paper. So you have to be thorough with this current affairs for sure. Clear? And I want to give you one tip, especially for mains answer writing. And this mains answer writing is ball game. Yes, I want to share one tip. Here the tip is 7-5-3 rule. So whenever you are writing answer, and many students are complaining me in answer writing classes like it is taking a lot of time, it is taking like more than 25 minutes, 30 minutes to write a single answer. But you will be having just 7 to 8 minutes of time to write answer of 150 words and you will be having around 11 minutes of time to write answer for 250 words. So that's it, not more than this. So to write answers within a time limit, yes, you can follow this 7-5-3 rule. So 7 is nothing but you have to complete answer in 7 minutes of time. Okay, and here you have to write at least 5 ideas. And these 5 ideas you can spread in 3 dimensions. For example, polity point of view and economy point of view, geography point of view, international relations point of view, science and technology point of view, society point of view, ethics point of view, what left? Environment and ecology point of view. So based on that idea, you can pick these 3 dimensions and you can write. So you will be writing around 15 dimensions. Okay, 5 ideas, 5 into 3, 15 points. So each and every point will be 1 dimension. So you will be writing around 15 points. So this will be more than enough. And if you are following this 7-5-3 rule, yes, you can complete your answer in 7 minutes. Okay. And you can write each and every answer without leaving any question in examination. And one more thing here is, if you want to get these dimensions, so whenever you are starting your preparation, especially whenever you are starting reading newspaper, so from that day onwards you have to focus on these dimensions. So these are the dimensions that we are teaching through this analysis. So because of that, my sincere request is, if you are watching this current affairs analysis of Rathods IS, please do watch consistently. And no other YouTube channel or any coaching center is giving about this type of approach. Okay, so we here are coming up with this type of approach because I personally know what are the problems which are faced by these beginners. Because when I was a beginner, I had to face the same problem and I took around 2.5 years to understand how to read this current affairs. So I don't want a beginner to waste that much of time. So because of this, we are coming up with this type of analysis. So please do watch consistently. And one request from my side here is, don't simply watch this analysis. So please do hit the like button and if possible, share this video to your friends also. Clear? And now let us go back to our front page. So this is the front page of your Hindu paper today. And the first important article is Maharashtra Assembly clears 10% of Maratha quota. So what is the keyword here? That is Maratha, and we have quota. So now let us see some dimensions. So here you have to know about this concept of reservation. So this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under polity point of view. So now let us see some dimensions. So you have to see what is this concept of reservation, why this reservation is required, and you have to see where this reservation is applied. For example, in education and even in jobs. You have to see the fundamental rights which are talking about reservation, especially there are some exceptions. You have to know those exceptions. And there is one Supreme Court judgment that is talking about reservation. That is Champakam Durai Rajan case. And here there is also one more concept, that is ceiling limit of 50% of reservation. So what is about this? And you have to know even some important facts from your GS paper 1 history point of view. There you have to know some facts regarding who are these Marathas. And you have to see why they need reservation now. And not only this, you have to see even what will be the impact of reservation policy. So all these are the different dimensions that you have to see from this article point of view. Clear? So if you are understanding like how to read this article, so hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, now let us see the notes. Let us see this topic in a great detail. So before that, I came up with this quote today, and again this is a motivational quote. Quote is, if you don't sacrifice for your dream, then your dream becomes sacrifice. So each and every person, they have dream. For example, my dream is to become topmost IAS faculty in India. So for this, sacrifice is very important. So daily I am sacrificing my sleep, and even I am not taking care of my kids much like other mothers do, and I am doing sacrifice to become good current affairs faculty, and I want to be like a topmost faculty in India. So I don't know how much time it will take to become a top faculty of current affairs. Okay, so in the same way, everyone, you, me, everyone is having their own dreams. So for that dreams, you have to sacrifice something. So now many of you are having a dream like to become an IAS officer or an IPS officer, IRS officer, to clear UPSC or to have a settled life. So for that, you have to do hard work. Yes, hard work is very, very important. So there is no alternative or choice to the hard work. So don't search for the things that are going to alternate to this hard work. Hard work always pays off. Okay, so here if you want to clear this examination, now you have to sacrifice like going to functions or meeting out like get-togethers or movies, etc. So try to concentrate on your studies because it is very less. Now we have only 3 months of time to your prelims. So within these 3 months, if you sincerely and if you're concentrating on your studies, yes, there will be high chance of clearing your prelims. Okay, but if you are not sacrificing, means your dream that you have to sacrifice. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind, and at least from next 3 months, so try to concentrate on your studies. Okay, this is my request. Yeah, now let us see the first article. It is talking about 10% Maratha quota. Now finally here Maharashtra Assembly cleared this 10% Maratha quota. So now let us try to see some important things that you have to remember from this article. So here context says that Maharashtra Chief Minister and his cabinet approved this bill, and this bill, it is going to provide 10% of quota for this Maratha community. So in which areas? So first one is in education, second one it is in government jobs. So if you're talking about some facts regarding this Marathas, so these Marathas are well known as warrior caste. They are well known for this warrior caste, and these Marathas, they constitute a significant proportion of Maharashtra's population. So where they are present in state of Maharashtra, and mainly they comprise this peasant. Peasant means nothing but farmer, and as well as land owning groups. So these people, they are farmers, and as well as they have the ownership of land, and they held political dominance in Maharashtra since state's formation. So when the state formed, like during 1960s, from that time onwards, so these people, they were dominant in this political arena. So with many Marathas occupying the positions of chief minister, but they are facing some economic challenges like middle class or lower middle class of Marathas. So because of this, they are mainly asking for this quota. And if you're talking about demand for reservation, so this demand for the reservation is not a new topic, but has been started during 1980s in this Maharashtra region. So when a leader of Mathadi labor union led first protest rally during this 1980s, so that was the beginning of this movement of Maratha reservation in Maharashtra. And later on, Maratha Kranti Morcha played a very important role during 2016 and 2018 by organizing massive protests in this Maharashtra. And later on, these protests, they include series of rallies, and some of which are peaceful and some of them are violent, and even there are number of suicides which happened during this protest. And finally, yes, they passed this 10% of Maratha quota. And what are the arguments in favor of this Maratha reservation? So why these Marathas, they need reservation? So first one is they are facing social and economic backwardness. So many supporters of this Maratha reservation, they argues that so this Maratha community, they face social and economic challenges, particularly Marathas who are living in these rural areas. They are facing the social and economic consequences. So they are struggling with poverty. So there is lack of access to quality education, and even they are having very limited employment opportunities. So because of this, they require quota. So reservation in this view is seen as a means to uplift this Marathas, okay, who are socially and economically disadvantaged people. And even if you're talking about political representation, so Maratha reservation, which is helpful for improved political representation as well. And if you're talking about this proponents of this reservation, they say that education and government jobs would not only uplift the socio-economic conditions, but even so this reservation will be empowering these Marathas politically as well. And increased representation in these sectors that could enable Marathas to participate more actively in this decision making process, and even that will be helpful for the promoting of their community interest as well. So here these are the arguments which are in favor of this Maratha reservation. There is 10% of quota for Marathas. And next one is arguments which are against this Maratha reservation. So first one here is there is OBC share concerns. So what is this OBC? OBC stands for other backward classes. So here many opposite people, like many opponents, so they says that so they are strongly objecting to this idea that they are providing reservation to Marathas would likely to reduce the already existing quota which is allocated to this OBCs. So already we have reservation for this OBC. So whenever there is including of Marathas also means that will reduce the allocation to this OBCs. Since OBCs already received the lower reservation percentage in Maharashtra compared to that of national average. So whenever again government is providing this Maratha reservation means that will be reducing this further reservation to this OBCs. And this one is here OBC leaders, this says that their communities are also facing socio-economic challenges. So here we have to make them, they will be getting the proper quota. Okay. And next one here is reservation cap. So there is a reservation cap, that is Supreme Court said that reservation should not cross 50%. But if there is 10% of reservation for the Marathas, yes, this will be increasing the ceiling limit of 50% of reservation. So these are the some arguments which are against the reservation. And even recently we came up with this EWS quota, that is economically weaker sections quota of 10%. Okay, so it has been introduced by central government. And now critics says that this EWS quota, which is an alternate approach to address economic disadvantages without considering the caste-based reservation, and why we need again Maratha reservation. Okay, so these are the very important things that you have to remember. Clear? And now let us see the today's mains question. So today's mains question is, considering the ongoing Maratha reservation issue in Maharashtra, how can the state strike a balance between addressing the socio-economic concerns of Maratha community and ensuring that existing reservation framework, including 50% of cap, which said by Supreme Court, is upheld or not? So it is a very, very important question, and you will be getting this type of questions in your examination for sure. So you should be writing answers for this type of questions. Okay, and now let us see next topic. And let us go back to our Hindu paper. So this is the front page, and there is one more article which is important. Title says, Gulf countries keen to invest Jammu and Kashmir, says Modi. So this article is talking about Jammu and Kashmir. So now let us see some important ideas. So it is talking about Jammu and Kashmir. So what happened in 2019? In 2019, on August 5th, the government came up with abrogation of 2 articles. So which are those articles? Article 370 on one side and Article 35A. Article 35A and Article 370. So these 2 articles, they are talking about special category status. They are talking about special category status. It is for Jammu and Kashmir region. And not only this step, but even one more step advanced. Government came up with Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act. Act of 2019, and divided erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state into 2 union territories. So first one is UT of Jammu and Kashmir, and next one is UT of Ladakh. And this Jammu and Kashmir is having state legislative assembly, and it is not having this legislative assembly. So this is the background. And now let us see the present story, and we are going to connect with the past story. Yes, there is a connection. So here central government said that why we are going for removing of this article. They said that we are focusing on development, and we are going to attract investments. Okay, we are going to attract investments. So with this investment, that will lead to improving of standard of living, increasing of employment opportunities, and even that will lead to the finally development. Okay, so we are talking about investment, and this is a thing which mainly said by present government, right? So if you see this title, it says that Gulf countries, they want to invest. Okay, so how much? It is around 32,000 crore projects. Okay, and this is the one important thing that is said, and here you have to know about some facts regarding this Gulf countries. and you have to know about Gulf Cooperation Council, that is GCC. So these are very important. Okay, so these are the important topics that you have to remember. Yeah, now let us see the next important topic. So you can leave this city page, there is nothing much important, and even you can skip this states pages also, they are nothing much important. You can directly move on to this editorial page today. Okay, so in editorial page there are very important topics, and we are going to see all those 4 articles in your editorial page today. And even the op-ed page also we have important articles. You directly move on to this editorial page. So now let us see one by one. So first article, it is written by this M.K. Narayan, and he is a former director of Intelligence Bureau and also a former National Security Advisor and also former governor of West Bengal. So whenever he is writing articles, so he had a good knowledge of what is going on in reality, right? So this person is very important. Okay, so whenever the articles of this person, so try to read this kind of articles for sure, so that you can get lots of insights regarding how government is functioning. So now let us see this article. So this article especially is talking about India. So what are the internal challenges and external challenges? So it is talking about internal and external challenges. So now let us see this internal challenges. So why he is talking about internal and external challenges? Because so we are going to have this Lok Sabha elections in 2024. Right? So because of this he is talking about internal and external challenge. So now external challenge, like we have Russia-Ukraine conflict. So it is having impact on India. And now Israel-Palestine issue is going on. Okay, Israel is supported by US, UK, European Union. On another side, India and US are friends, and India UK are coming together, and even India European also coming together. But now India is talking about a 2-state solution. Okay, so that we can bring the peace, so that we are having a contradiction here. Okay, and even we are having this terror attacks from Pakistan, and from China we are posing a threat across our border. For example, in the eastern sector, in the western sector. So in the western sector till now, so there is no proper resolution of issue, and we went for number of rounds of talks. Yes or no? And from Myanmar, so we are having the issue of free movement regime, and our present government said that we are going to stop this free movement regime, and now there is a requirement of visa to enter into India. And from Myanmar we are also having this issue called as Rohingya crisis. Okay, and we are also having issue with Maldives now. So there are changing of geopolitical conditions between India and Maldives. Okay, so these are some important external issues that we are seeing, okay, in news. And apart from that, you have to focus on even internal issues. So first one here is communal violence is erupting in India. Okay, communal violence issue. For example, you can write about Manipur. And even because of this opening of Ram Mandir, that will also increase these communal tensions. And also we can see there are frequent disruptions in the house, so that led to decreasing of functioning of house. Okay, and apart from that, we are also having the issues of Naxalism. Okay, and insurgency issues, and even we have climate change issues. And because of El Nino, agriculture production has been decreased. So this will be having impact on food security. And at present we can see there are like farmers protest which is going on. And one more internal issue is there is increased inflation in the market. Okay, so these are the some important tensions that are facing by the government in this election year. Okay, so we have to see how government is going to tackle with these issues. So these are the some important things which are mainly given in this article. I hope you got good insights regarding this topic, right? So if you got insights, so please hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. And now let us go back to this notes page and let us try to understand this topic. And with 17th Lok Sabha is going to be ended, and we have a very important challenge, that is we have to conduct general elections in this 2024, right? So the final session of parliament unfortunately proved to be a device as several of previous sessions with both ruling party and opposition parties they are trading charges. For example, in recent interim budget which is introduced by our Union Finance Minister, she talked about what earlier finance ministers and earlier Prime Minister Manmohan Singh they did, and she pointed about the failures of earlier government. Okay, so because of this we can say there was trading charges and conceding no quarter to each other which had happened in this recent final session of the parliament of 17th Lok Sabha. Okay, so this unseemingly spectacle has raised to concerns about the parliamentary democracy. So when this type of incidents are happening, so we will be having a question regarding how this parliamentary democracy will be surviving. So we're talking about the systems of government. So we have two systems of government. First one is presidential and second one is parliamentary form of government. Presidential form of government and parliamentary form of government. And especially India and UK. Okay, India and UK, we have this parliamentary form of democracy. And in your Lakshmikant book, you will be reading about the special features of this parliamentary form of democracy. So please let me know at least 5 important features of this parliamentary form of democracy. So one thing I will be saying here is we have nominal head and we have real head. Okay, we have nominal head and we have real head. So it is one important feature of this parliamentary form of democracy. So please let me know other 5 important features of this parliamentary form of democracy. Right, so this article says that we in India have been more fortunate than many other countries in being able to sustain democracy and in earning a reputation of adherence to the best parliamentary practices. Okay, so if you're talking about in our constitution, we have some important provisions like we have fundamental rights, we have fundamental duties, we have directive principles of state policies, so which are like safeguards of our democracy. But India is today better placed than it has been for many decades in connection with these 2 points. For example, we are talking about always the global political environment, okay, how it is going to adversely impact. For example, the tensions are going in this Russia-Ukraine and as well as in the West Asia, so they will be having some impact on India. And if you are talking about even one more important cause of concern is China. China is remaining as a matter of concern for India because of extreme vigilance, and it is also posing an immediate threat. Okay, and Pakistan, which is embroiled in its internal problem, and it is hardly a threat to India as of now. And internal dynamics are going on. For example, we are going to have this major terror attacks, and even especially farmers agitation is happening in this Punjab and Haryana region, and even the northeast region. So we have unsettled with Manipur, and even Assam also we have some issues. Okay, so even there is communal violence which is going on this Manipur. Okay, and even left-wing extremism is also one of the form of violence that we can see. So these are some internal as well as external problems that are mainly said by author. Clear? Yes or no? So if yes, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, and now let us go back to next topic. It is about calm assessment. Clarity on the nature and extent of deemed forest is essential. So this article is talking about what is the meaning of forest, because in India we don't have nationally accepted definition of forest. So even if you see the background, so I will tell you the background so that you can understand this topic better. So what happened here is in 2023, our present government came up with amendments to this Forest Conservation Act of 1980. So what happened? So these amendments, they are challenged. So a PIL, that is public interest litigation, it is filed in Supreme Court to say the constitutionality of these amendments. And finally Supreme Court came up with this judgment. So what are the dimensions you have to see here? So you have to see like, so what Supreme Court said, what is the judgment of Supreme Court, and you have to see like what are the provisions of this FCA, and you have to see like what are the amendments, and you have to see like what are the challenges, and also what is the way forward. So all these are the different dimensions that you have to remember, and this topic is important from GS paper 2 under polity and governance, and even from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology also this article is very important. So now let us see this topic in detail. So this article is saying that Supreme Court in an order which said that states and union territories, they must act according to the definition of forest. So this definition of forest is laid down in one of the famous judgment, that is T.N. Godavarman versus Union of India judgment of 1996. So why this judgment is given by Supreme Court? Because public interest litigation, that is PIL, which filed in Supreme Court regarding the constitutionality of the recent amendments which made to Forest Rights Act or Forest Conservation Act of 1980. Okay, so here what is the important judgments given by Supreme Court? Supreme Court said that if there is any necessity of setting up of zoo or any safaris etc., yes, the permission should be taken from Supreme Court now. Earlier central government needs to give the permission, now here Supreme Court has to give the permission. And even there are these are some exempted from this definition of forest according to section 5 of this Forest Conservation Amendment Act of 2023. And this one is publication of forest land records. So court also directed a comprehensive land record management, okay, according to this Van Sanrakshan even Samvardhan rules 2023, and those details need to be available on official website. And even Supreme Court said that within the ambit of forest-like areas to be identified by expert committee, unclassed and community forest lands. Okay, so these are some important judgments of Supreme Court. And if you are talking about what is a forest, according to this Godavarman judgment of 1996, so forest will include the land which is recorded as forest in the government record, okay, even in the government record, and any land that satisfies the dictionary definition of the forest. So this Oxford Dictionary defines forest as large area covered with trees and undergrowth. Okay, so what is this Amendment Act? That is Forest Conservation Amendment Act of 2023. So first one is it introduced a preamble to the act. So this preamble which reflects India's commitment to preserving the forest, and is focusing on improving of biodiversity and to address climate change challenges. The first one is it is focusing on preserving of forest, it is focusing on improving of biodiversity, and even it is focusing on how to address this climate change challenges. So first important amendment. And next one is the name had been changed to Van Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiniyam. Okay. So existing name had been renamed, And next one here is there are two categories of land under this act jurisdiction. So first land is land which is declared or notified as forest under Indian Forest Act of 1927, and even land which is not covered in the category, so that means this category, but even if it is notified as forest after this 1980 October 25th, so they will be also comes under the categories of land under this act's jurisdiction. So what are the exemptions? So there are some exemptions like the forest land which is situated along the roadside or the lane side, okay, railway lane side, so they are exempted. And this act also exempt the strategic linear projects of national importance, and if they are focusing on this national security, which are the lands are present, so those lands are also exempted from 100 kilometers from this national borders. And even they are talking about this expansion of permitted areas or activities. So it facilitates the silviculture operations and wildlife safaris, ecotourism. They are specified by the central government. And next one is streamlining of approval process. So previously state governments needed central government's approval to assign forest land to non-government entities. Now these amendments which made requirements to all entities with approval subject to central government in terms and conditions. And this important aim it is to eliminate ambiguous and expedite decision making on proposal involving this non-forest use of this forest land. So what is the criticism of this amendment? This criticism is very important. So what is the criticism? So first one is it also changing the scope of forest. So this act which seeks to redefine the forest in India and restricting the officials designated lands. It also eliminates the restrictions on commercial activity on non-designated forest land, and even it is impacting the areas like Aravalli, Niyamgiri ranges. So these areas they were inhabited by vulnerable tribal groups. And even there are some exemptions for this linear infrastructure. So if they are going for this linear infrastructure like railways and roadways, so here the national borders may be exempted from this forest clearance permission. So there is no need of taking this forest clearance. And this one is human-animal conflict. So whenever we are going and encroaching into these habitats of animals, so animals they will come in contact with humans, that will lead to human-animal conflict. So this endangers not only forest but even the wildlife as well. Okay, so these are some important things that you have to remember from this article. And we did these two articles, right? Now let us move down. And next topic it is about keep it wholesome. So this article is talking about cervical cancer. So please tell me now which organism is causing the cervical cancer. Fast. Which organism is causing cervical cancer? So number of times we discuss this topic, and this is at most important. So I will be giving you the dimension and I will make you understand what is this cancer concept is about. So it is talking about cervical cancer, right? So what is this cancer? So in this cancer there will be uncontrolled cell division. So this is the concept. We can say there is uncontrolled cell division is happening. So normally cell will be dividing. So because of the cell division we can see the growth and development will be seen in an organism. Okay, so the cells will be divided into two like that. But what happened, continuously cells will be developing and they will be forming like the mass. Okay, mass of cells or the bulk cells. So in this division, so in this cells we have two types. Benign tumors, B-E-N-I-G-N, benign tumors, and we have malignant tumors. So benign means nothing but, so if you found that there is a tumor that is present in this area, that will be present only here, it will be not moving here and there. But in this malignant, they will be moving. So they will be moving from one place to another place. So this malignant tumors, they will be called as cancer cells. It is very difficult to diagnose. So where it is exactly? Okay, so what is the cervical cancer? So it is related to women reproductive system. Okay. Okay, like this we have women reproductive system. Okay, so this part is uterus. Uterus is also called as womb. So we will be having a layer, it is called as endometrium. So these are called as ovaries, and we have a pair of ovaries, one is on left side and one is on right side, and this is called as fallopian tubule. Okay, it is called as fallopian tubule. So this part is called as cervix. So what happens in this cervix is, so the cells will be dividing here. Okay, cells will be dividing and we will be having uncontrolled cell division here, and this is called as cervical cancer. Okay, so what is the important reason for this cervical cancer is HPV, human papilloma virus. So HPV is the important reason for this cancer. So how this HPV enters the cervix? Through sexual contact. Okay, through sexual contact. So this HPV infection will be happening, and because of this infection the uncontrolled growth is happening in the cervix. That is a major reason for this cancer in women, and the cervical cancer is one of the most type of cancer that is seen in women. Clear? So because of this, now we developed this vaccine. So vaccine to prevent this cervical cancer, and this vaccine will be given to the children who are girls, okay, girl child who is between 9 to 14 years. That means in this age they will be not having the sexual contact. That means before they enter into this sexual activity, so they have to take this HPV vaccine. So now let me say which are the dimensions that you have to think here. So you have to know about cancer, because from cancer also you can get prelims based question. And here you have to know about what is this CC cervical cancer. Okay, what is this? And you have to see what are the causes of this cervical cancer. So if time permits, you can also see some symptoms of this cervical cancer, and you have to see what is this human papilloma virus and cervical cancer vaccine. So the brand name is Cervovac. Okay, you have to see that, and you have to see like why it is in news, because as recently our government introduced interim budget. So our government introduced this interim budget, right? So in this interim budget, our union finance minister said that we are going to include this vaccine. Okay, vaccine in universal immunization program, so that the girls between 9 to 14 years of age, so they will be getting this vaccine. Okay, so you have to know all these dimensions, and this topic is important from GS paper 2 under health, and even it is important from GS paper 3 science and technology. Clear? So now let us try to understand this topic in detail. So recently our union finance minister announced that in the presentation of interim budget that government is planning to encourage vaccination against the cervical cancer for girls who are between age of 9 to 14 years. And this cancer of cervix, it is nothing but the neck of womb, is unique among the cancers, because so most of the cases, especially the cancer case of women, they are related to this cervical cancer, and it is causing because of infection of this human papilloma virus, that is HPV virus, and especially that virus is transmitted through the sexual contact. So most of these HPV infections, they resolve spontaneously, and the women, they remain symptom free. Persistent infection that can lead to the cervical cancer. And actually why we have to take this vaccine, because so this cervical cancer is the second leading cause of cancer related deaths across women. Okay, about 77,000 women, they are dying per year because of the cervical cancer. And it is also estimated that it is the second most frequent cancer among Indian women who are between the age of 15 to 44 years. And if you're talking about some facts regarding the cervical cancer, so cervical cancer originates in the cervix. So as I showed, like it is a lower part of our womb or uterus. And we can say like the most of the cases, they are linked to this sexually transmitted, and especially this human papilloma strains, they are sexually transmitted and they are causing this uncontrolled cell division in the cervix. So while body's immune system often fends off HPV, in some cases virus persists for years, triggering the transformation of these cervical cells into cancerous cells. So after some years of this infection, so these cervical cells will be converted into cancerous cells. So we're talking about the types of cervical cancer. So we have two main types. So first one is squamous cell carcinoma. Next one is adenocarcinoma. So first one is squamous cell carcinoma. Second one is adenocarcinoma. So here this squamous cell carcinoma is the most common type of cervical cancer that is seen, and about 70 to 90% of cervical cancer cases, so they are like squamous cell. So they are nothing but, this is cervix, right? Okay. So this is cervix. So the lining of the cervix, okay. So the lining of the cervix is containing squamous cells. They are rectangular cells. So these cells, they will be going for uncontrolled division. And next one is adenocarcinoma. It comprises a smaller percentage of cervical cancers. They are originated in the granular cells. So they are not the lines, but inside the cells they will go for uncontrolled cell division. So this is called as adenocarcinoma. So if talking about the cervical cancer vaccine is also known as HPV vaccine, and it is a powerful preventive measure against cervical cancer. And even this also targets specific strains of this human papilloma virus, and they are strongly associated with this cancer. So vaccine is highly effective and is also recommended for adolescents, okay, who before entering into the sexual activity itself, we are recommending that. And what is this HPV? So HPV is nothing but human papilloma virus, and it is one of the most common sexually transmitted infection. So HPV is caused by sexual activity, okay, and age also one of the contributing factor. And about 75% of sexually active adults, they are vulnerable to this at least one type of HPV strains. And adolescent girls, women, they are more vulnerable to this cancer caused by this HPV infection. So I covered each and everything. Okay, I hope it is very much clear. And here the homework here is you have to know about this Servovac. Yeah, now let us move back to our Hindu page. So again, there is one most important article, that is having panchayats as self-governing institutions. So it is talking about panchayats. So this article is at most important, and I can say this is one of the favorite area of UPSC also. So it is talking about panchayat. So panchayat is part of local self-governance. It is part of local self-governance. Right? So actually these panchayats are not present in our original constitution. So we came up with this 73rd and 74th Constitution Amendment Act of 1992 to introduce this concept of local self-governance in our constitution. 73rd Amendment is talking about panchayats, and we have these panchayats in rural areas. And 74th Constitution Amendment Act, which talks about municipalities. They are in urban areas. So in urban areas we have municipalities, in rural areas we have panchayats. So these two comes under this local self-governance. So in panchayats, you have to know about articles which are talking about panchayats, and hierarchy, like what is this Gram Sabha, what is the role of this Gram Sabha. Okay, like that you have to see the tier system, and especially there are different committees. Okay, like Ashok Mehta committee, GVK committee, like that. So which are the committees they recommended, which tier structures. Okay, so Tang committee. So there are very important committees. You have to know about those committees, and you have to know about especially what are the challenges faced by these panchayats. So this article is talking about what are the challenges, and you have to see like what is the way forward. So one important challenge they are facing here is funds. They are not having enough funds. So this funds topic is discussed in this article. So now we are going to see this topic in detail. Okay. Yes. This article says that 3 decades have passed since 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts they came into effect. So they came into effect in 1992, and later on we got 2002, 2012, and now 2022 also happened, completed, and now we are in 2024. That means 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades completed. That is the thing which mainly said. Okay. So 3 decades have passed since 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act they came into effect, but these institutions they are facing challenges. And actually after we came up with this 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, even we came up with this Ministry of Panchayati Raj system, so which came up in year 2004. And especially this ministry which is focusing on strengthening of rural local self-government. But even though we are facing some challenges in this PRI system, so first one is there is lack of staff, there is creation of parallel bodies, and there is lack of convergence of various government programs, and even there are some infrastructure challenges, insufficient grants and funds, there is lack of effective devolution. So this is a topic of discussion, that is insufficient grants and funds. So I am going to discuss each and every challenge clearly. So if you want, you can make a notes. So first one is there is insufficient grants and funds. So even though this panchayats they got constitutional status, okay, even though they got this constitutional status, constitutional empowerment, so these bodies they face a problem of inadequate finances, okay, to carry out various activities which are assigned to them. And even State Finance Commission will be providing the transfers, but it is also merging. And in most of the states here, the most important source of this Gram Panchayats, they do not have their own source of revenue. Okay. So normally they will be generating the source of revenue from the tax or non-tax revenue, and even by renting shops, house tax, clean water fee, etc. But they are not getting. And there is lack of effective devolution. Local self-government is a state subject, and the devolution of power and authority to panchayats has been left to the discretion of states. So some important subjects like fuel for the non-conventional energy sources, rural electrification, including electricity, non-formal education, small-scale industries, food processing industries, technical training, vocational education. So these powers they are not devolving by the states to panchayats, because this local self-government is exclusively coming under state. Yes, central is not involving, right? If central is involving, you will be having the uniform thing, but here it is left to the discretion of states. If states want, they can give. If states are not willing, yes, they will not give. Okay, so this is the thing. And next one is infrastructure challenges. They do not have their own buildings, they do not have the proper space with schools, anganwadis and other places, etc. And even they do not have the basic facilities like toilets, drinking water, electricity connection. And with these Gram Panchayats, they are not having even internet connections. If they are having, they are not functional, and there will be no data entry purposes, etc. And even there is lack of convergence of various government programs. So central government is coming up with some programs, and state government is also coming up with some programs, But with these programs, here local self-government is not having any convergence at all, and even they do not have proper support staff as well, like junior engineers, secretaries, computer operators, data entry operators. So they do not have the proper functioning, and there is no proper delivery of services. So these are the problems. And if you see here regarding the funds, so author mainly says that we have to focus on education. So we have to educate elected representatives, and also we have to skill up them so that they can raise revenue, and they will helpful for development of panchayats as local self-governing institutions. And even we are having a dependence syndrome, like we are dependent, that is panchayats, you are depending on the states. So we have to eliminate that, because here if you are getting our own resources, we will be not depending on the states, right? So that is the thing which mainly said by author. And panchayats can only achieve such a state of affairs when there are dedicated efforts which are mainly seen in all tiers. Like we need to have the devolution of powers. It is very, very important thing. So that is the thing which mainly said in this article. Clear? And now let's go back to our news page. So there is one article, it is regarding judicial clarity on free speech. So here you have to focus on article 19 subclass 2 subclass 6 of Indian Constitution. Okay, you have to know about this right to freedom of speech and expression. And here there is one article regarding this electoral bond judgment. So recently here you know that Supreme Court struck down this electoral bond scheme and said that this scheme is unconstitutional, null and void. Okay, we already discussed about this topic number of times, so please go and revise this topic. And in this text and context, we have two important articles. So first one is, why are farmers protesting again? So this article is talking about farmers protest, especially seen in this Punjab and Haryana region, and they are marching towards Delhi, right? So farmers from different states, they have reportedly stated that yes, they are not getting proper MSP. Regarding this MSP issue, yes, farmers are doing this march. And already we discussed about in detail regarding this, what is MSP, so what are the concerns regarding this MSP, and why government is giving MSP, and in which areas government is giving MSP. So I discussed this topic in very detail. Okay, so we are not going to discuss that, so please do revise this topic. And next topic is on the right to maintenance for divorced women, Muslim women. So this article is very important. It is talking about maintenance. Okay, so this article we can connect with topic of triple talaq. So do you know about this triple talaq? If they are saying talaq, talaq 3 times, that is nothing but divorce in Muslims. Okay, Supreme Court has decided to examine a divorced woman, Muslim woman, is entitled to claim maintenance under this section 125 of CRPC from her former husband or not. So here in Muslims, we have this Muslim Women Protection of Right on Divorce Act of 1986. So it is a religion specific law which provides a procedure for a Muslim woman to claim maintenance during divorce. And the Apex Court which pointed out that this 1986 Act begins with non-abstantial clause, that it does not bar an alternative remedy under this section 125 of CRPC. So if this judgment is given, so we are going to have the detailed study on this topic. So until then you have to remember, so we have Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act of 1986. It is a religion specific law and it talks about the procedure for Muslim woman, how she can get maintenance during this divorce. Okay. So here you have to know about Iddat. Iddat is nothing but a period usually of 3 months which woman must observe after the death of her husband or a divorce before she can remarry. Okay, after the completion of this Iddat period, here woman can approach first class magistrate for the maintenance in the case she has not remarried and is not in a position to take care of her financially. Then she can go and she can approach this first class magistrate according to this act. And if you move on to this news page, okay, there is nothing much important in this pages. Okay, here you can see two articles. The first one is India to display relics of Lord Buddha in Thailand. So Buddhism is one of the important and favorite areas of UPSC, and there will be always one question in your prelims from Buddhism. So focus on that from art and culture point of view and as well as from ancient history point of view. And next one is India seek $26 billion private investment in nuclear power sector. So this article is also at most important because in science and technology we will be studying about this topic of energy. There we will be studying about renewable and non-renewable energy. So from that topic point of view it is very important, and especially you have to see like what is the potential of nuclear power in India. And next topic is study finds rise in blood clots, heart inflammation after COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, so there is also instances of Guillain-Barré syndrome, myocarditis, pericarditis, cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, at least 1.5 times more than expected. So after taking of this vaccination for this COVID-19, there is increased incidence of this heart related issues. Okay, so this is the thing which mainly said. And I don't know how many of you have took this vaccine. Unfortunately, at that time I didn't have any vaccine. Okay, I didn't have this COVID-19 vaccine till now. I am very lucky in this case. Yeah, so these are the very important articles that appeared in now today's Hindu newspaper. And by this I completed my analysis, and now I will show like where can you get the notes of this class. So this is Rathods IAS classes Telegram channel. Please do this join this channel so that you will be getting updates of classes and as well as notes. And from next week, so from Monday onwards, I will be available in offline office, which is going to be started from Monday onwards in Ashok Nagar, Hyderabad. So if you want to meet me, you can come and meet me from Monday onwards in Ashok Nagar. Okay. Yeah, so we have 2 floors in Ashok Nagar. So one has been completed, like 4th floor is completed, and third floor is still in renovation. So as many students are demanding to come and they want to meet to me, so that even though if it is not completed 3rd floor, we are going and we are staying in this 4th floor. Okay, till this renovation is completed, and we are going to shifting this office to 3rd floor soon. Okay, and this is our website, that is Rathods IAS Academy website, and we are providing foundational course for 2025 and 2026 with a very minimal charge. It will be around 20,000 rupees including A to Z. Like you will be getting recorded classes, live classes, prelims test series, prelims booster course, mains answer writing practice, mains test series, and if you clear mains you will be also having interview guidance in this 20,000 rupees. So here we are not compromising on quality, and each and every single topic will be discussed for sure along with previous questions, and we are also going to give you the practice questions. And if you join this foundational course, you will be also having a personal mentor. Okay, mentorship support will be there, mentor calls will be there on every Sunday, and you will be having weekly assessment also. So everything will be involved. So try to join this foundational course, and if you want to join the single module also, you can join the single module. You can use the website. So by this I am concluding. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you really like this class, hit the like button, and please do share this class to your friends also. And one more thing is, do subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Thank you so much for watching, and we are going to meet in the next class tomorrow.